There is one universal God, there is one universal Spirit, one whole and indivisible, there is no other. Due to spiritual ignorance, the people see universal God differently. Because of this, they call him by different names. In truth, universal God is universal Spirit, which is both manifest and unmanifest, both personal and impersonal, both immanent and transcendent, yet neither. Universal God is the one greatest mystery. Mind cannot grasp him, only spirit can know him.
Satyam nasti paradharmaha. Satyam lokasya dipaha. Shruyatam drishatam kriyatam uchatam parapara sharanam agachati. Bhagavan sharanam agachati. Dharmam sharanam agachati. Sangam sharanam agachati. Satyayugam sharanam agachati. Om soham tattvamasi. Om parapara ki jai. Om Jai Bhagavan Ji.
Truth is the highest religion. Truth is the light of the world. Let it be heard. Let it be seen. Let it be done. Let it be told. Come take refuge in Parapara. Come take refuge in Bhagavan. Come take refuge in Dharma. Come take refuge in Sangha. Come take refuge in Satyayuga. Om, victory to God the Beloved. Victory to the friend. Jai Bhagavanji.
Jai Bhagavanji.
Jai Bhagavanji. India, rise and rise again. Maitreya the friend has said, O Maitreyan, go out into this world, bold and unafraid. Initiate all willing souls in my name and in the name of the one universal God who has sent me unto you, and bring forth the age of universal God's pure divine truth for the salvation and liberation of all suffering souls. And when the bigots cast stones against you, take every stone they cast and use them to build my church in this world. And when they seek to oppress you and destroy you, rise and rise again like the phoenix from the ashes, until the lambs have become lions and the rule of darkness is no more.
All victory and glory to God the Beloved.
All victory and glory to God the Beloved.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Jai Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Om Jai Bhagwan Ji.
Let the peace and love of Parapara, the one universal God of all creation, fill your heart, your mind, your body, and you as spirit. We are so lucky. We're so fortunate. Yeah, I know you're supposed to remove that, not worry you. That's okay. Don't worry about it, it's fine where it is. It's too important to pass on. We're so lucky. You know, usually when somebody puts a burden on you, you say, oh, why me? Oh, believe me, I've said why me a lot of times. But when we stop and we think about this, when you stop and realize that Parapara, God, has given us a burden to carry in this world, not for ourselves, but for the whole world. The whole world. I mean, our task in this world isn't just to scratch our way up the mountain to self-realization and be free individually. Oh, that's important. That's tremendously important. But our task is to win the universal salvation and liberation of all souls. Universal.
Wow.
Universal. And
Wow.
that is our cause, our purpose, and our mission in this world. And you know, a lot of people wake up in the morning and go, oh, it's another day. It's another day. And what am I going to do today? What's my, what will I do today? You know, if you're a Maitreyan, you don't have to worry about that because you know when you wake up, you go, my purpose today is to set all souls free. Now, I'm not going to accomplish it today. I'm not going to make it, but I'm going to work at it. And it's different when the sunlight comes through your windows and you wake up and you have this kind of deep joy in your heart. And you go, why do I have this joy in my heart? I got a lot of troubles. You know, I have this problem and that problem and this problem and that problem. Who doesn't have problems, right? I have plenty of problems. But it's different to have a problem when you have a purpose. If you don't have a purpose, then all you have is a problem.
Yeah.
But when you have a purpose, the problem is just a lump. It's It's not a hill. It's not a mountain. It's just a lump. You know, I come from Iowa, where a mountain is about this high. They don't have mountains in Iowa. It's the flattest thing you ever saw. So it was, oh my gosh, it's a mountain. It's 10 feet high. Well, that's the way most of our problems are, aren't they? You know, our problems are lumps in the road. But we can't get over the lump. Because we look at it from way down here and we go, oh, that's really big. But when you have something huge to measure things by, when you have a purpose that is absolutely astonishing, absolutely amazing, and we shouldn't have this purpose. I shouldn't have this purpose. I never qualified for this. I never went out and tested for this. It just came upon me. But nonetheless, when you have it, you have it. And when you have a purpose, when you have a mission, when you have a goal, a cause to measure the rest of the world by, all of a sudden you look at this lump, and then you look at this amazing cause, purpose, and mission, and you go, this is the lump. It's a lump. It's about the size of a molehill or an Iowa mountain. And so we have a burden. What is our burden? Our burden is that we're to go out and we're to give God's new covenant to all souls who are willing to receive it of their own free will and self-determinism. You may not use force, threat, coercion, intimidation, bribery, violence, or deception to give it to anybody. It just won't work. Oh, you could try. You could try and go buy yourself a gun and put it in somebody's head and say, take it or else. And they're going to be, okay, I take it. But it won't happen because I won't give it. And if I don't give it, God doesn't give it. So you'll be wasting your time. It's not that anything bad's going to happen to you. You'll just be foolish because you'll have wasted your time. But our cause, our purpose, and our mission is to deliver. Think of yourself as being a spiritual UPS person. You know, it's about deliver this new covenant to everybody who will have it. And if they say, I don't want it, you say, okay, have a nice day. Go talk to somebody else. Give it to somebody else. Offer it to somebody else. With your hand like this. You know? There's two ways to offer things. This way, this is the fatherly way. Do you want this candy? You know, please. Or this way. And that means you can take it of your own free will. Or you can leave it. Now, obviously, we want people to take it. Because we're trying to build this thing called divine critical mass. You know, in nuclear reactors, they have a thing called critical mass. You saw that in Japan when they had the tsunami. And that reactor went into critical mass. And it's a really big mess because that means that the nuclear reaction goes crazy. It just goes wild. On the internet and Facebook and things like that, we call it viral. Same thing. And our job here, our task, our purpose is to create a divine critical mass where this new covenant, this promise is spontaneously spread to all people. They don't have to work for it. They don't have to do anything. But we're doing the work. They don't have to sign up and stand in line and qualify like they do for food stamps or something like that. Because God has said that when enough people in this world at any given period of time have this promise of His in their heart and are fulfilling it, He will spontaneously and without further judgment, measure, or any other qualification spread it to everybody. And everybody will have the chance to go home into perfect final union with Him at the end of his life. Now, what's perfect final union? Well, if you think of a lot of people don't like the word God. It's been made into a bad word. And, you know, some of the people who have done the biggest job of making it into a bad word are religious people because of the bad behavior that they engage in. But let's use it not in the way they use it, but in the way we use it. And what it means to go home is that the drop of water that's lost out here in this wilderness somehow goes home into the ocean. And what happens to a drop of water when it goes into the ocean? Can you find it?
No.
If you take a drop of water, you go up there and drop it into the ocean, and I say, well, find the drop. Where is it? It's everywhere. It's everything. And when we go home into perfect final union with God, we're not ourselves anymore. Now, my fundamentalist friend says, oh, well, you know, when I die, I'm going to be just the same. I'll have a perfect body and my eyes will be perfect and I'll never get old and I'll be with all of the people I've ever known. I go, God, that sounds a little bit like hell to me. I don't want to be with all my relatives forever. You know, Aunt Tizzy there, I got to deal with her forever. And how boring if we're never going to get old, huh? We're never going to change. How'd you like to get up and be the same from day to day to day forever?
No, thank you.
See, it doesn't ring a bell with me. Although he likes it, so I leave him to his likes. But what we're talking about is not heaven. Heaven's a nice place to visit, but you don't want to live there. Perfect final union with God is as far above heaven as heaven is above hell. Because there's nothing higher than God. And when you are one with God, you've reached as far as you can go. And how much higher are you going to go? Now, heaven's kind of halfway between hell and God. Or maybe 2/3 of the way. Maybe 3/5 of the way. Let's give it 4/5 of the way, okay? Let's give it 9/10 of the way. How's that? But it's still that silly little millimeter away. And that's too far away for some of us. For some people don't care. Some people don't even believe it. Some people are atheists, they claim. Nobody's an atheist. I've never found an atheist in my whole life. I've never found an atheist. I find people who don't believe in the Christian concept of God. I find people who don't believe in the Jewish concept of God. I find people who don't believe in the Muslim concept of God or the Hindu concept of God. But I've never found anybody that would deny that they exist. And that they're more than their body, and more than their mind, and more than their personality, and more than their memories. And we're more than all of these things. And we know it. How do we know it? Because when we go to sleep at night, if we were just these things, what would happen is we'd wake up in the morning and we'd have to start from scratch. We wouldn't know who we are. I'm going to be going for a heart operation here in about 2 weeks. And it's a major operation. They're going to stop my heart for a whole half hour. I'll bring back the pictures with the tunnel of light and all that. If they'll let me take a camera. No, but seriously, they're going to stop my heart. Now, if that were the case, I don't know if you ever had anesthesia or not, but if you were just your body and your mind, and not something more, when you came back from being under anesthesia, you'd go, I got to start all over. I don't know who I am. How would you even know that you had been put out? If you were just your body and your mind. Your brain doesn't know when it's awake and when it's asleep, really. It's just on and off, on and off. But you see, you know, you say, I lost this part of my life because I was under anesthesia, or I was unconscious, or I was asleep. You're still there when the body's asleep. You're still there when the mind is asleep. You're still there when the personality is asleep. You're there because you are always there. You are pure consciousness that is one and identical with the total consciousness that is the source of all things. Now, people call that God. Some people say Brahma. Some people say Vishnu. Some people say Yahweh. Some people say Allah. Some people say, I don't know what they say. They say other things. But that's what you are. That's what you are. So you know, oh, my body's been unconscious for some time. What about the person who's been in a coma for there's a woman I just read about who's been in a coma for 22 years. And she just woke up. And she said, where have I been? Now, what's been going on? She knew she was... Would there have been a person there if we were just a body or a mind or a brain? All this mechanical stuff? No, of course not. We're more than that. But that doesn't mean we have to get superstitious about it. That doesn't mean we have to be religious bigots. That doesn't mean we have to go out and say, my book is the only book, and if you don't believe in it, then you're going to hell. Do we? And we don't. But a lot of people do. Because a lot of people can't accept the fact that there can be more than one reality, that there can be more than one truth. My friend, the fundamentalist, says, Jesus is the only way. I said, how do you know that? Well, because I believe it. Okay. Okay. You ever believe in Santa Claus?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is he real? No. But then, how do you know that this belief is different than that belief?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know? See, we want to know.
Mm-hmm.
We want to know for sure who we are.
Yeah.
So we don't put up any barriers against questioning. Question everything. You've seen these bumper stickers that say, question authority.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was going to put one out that says, question reality and start with your own.
That's a good one.
How do we come by this reality? So I've never met an atheist. When I sit down and talk with people for a while, they go, yeah, well, I really believe in that. I believe, that I'm more than my body and more than my mind. You have to be. Do you remember when you were just about this tall?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe this tall.
Yeah.
Okay, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, if you were just your body and your brain, how would you know that you were once just that tall? You'd think you were always this tall,
Oh.
wouldn't you? But you know that the you, the person who was there when you were this tall, is the same person that's there right now, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you've changed your ideas, you've changed your perspective, maybe you changed your political party or your philosophy. And your body has certainly changed, but you are the same person. There's an interesting article, I wish I could find it, it's pretty old now, that was around when I was going to college. And it was written, strangely enough, by a brain surgeon. And it was how he came to not be an atheist. Well, when they do brain surgery, what they do is they open up your skull and they have little electrodes because they have to find the right areas. And they touch different places. And the person will say, I smell bread baking. Or I see my grandmother. Or I'm in my mother's kitchen. Or I'm out looking at the ocean. And they have to map the brain. And he said that the reason that he gave up being an atheist was because he had done something like 3,000 of these operations, touched virtually every place in the human brain, and he never found one place where he would touch it and somebody said, hey, you touched me.
Wow.
Nobody ever said that.
Neat.
Now you would think that if we were our brain, like the materialists want us to think, like the communists, the people who are into this atheistic thing want us to think, if we were just our brain, sooner or later, this guy doing 3,000 operations and touching every single place in the human brain, somebody would go, hey, you touched me.
Yeah.
Never happened. So he gave it up. So we have this simultaneously this burden to carry, but it's a joyous burden. It's a burden of not only getting ourselves free, but offering people a chance to get free of this trap that we're in. Anybody notice you're getting older? This morning, around lumbago, I notice it. Look here. I've tore a tendon just pushing a bag into a closet. I could have done that all day long when I was like 23. We're in a trap here. And the trap, if you excuse the pun, has a dead end. Nobody gets out, what was it, Morrison of the Doors said nobody gets out of this life alive. That's right. He's right. So we have to do something. We're kind of like a person living in a house that's on fire. We got to do something, otherwise the house is going to burn down around us. So we want to find the way out of this trap. That's why Buddhists have sat in caves for years and years and chanted their chants. That's why the Hindus have practiced yoga for years and years. That's why people go to the Bible or to the Bhagavad Gita or to the Quran or to the Torah. It's because inherently we all know that this journey has to come to an end, and we want to find the door. How do I get out of here?
Johnny. Yes.
And until we find that door, we have no peace. We're always anxious. And we go, why am I so anxious today? I don't know. I don't have anything to be anxious about. Yes, you do. It's sitting right back here someplace. And it's kind of going, this is going to come to an end. This is going to come to an end. And we don't recognize that we shut it out. Once you deal with that, you can be happy. Once you've settled that, then you can be at peace. The anxiety goes away. The anxiety goes away. It's not that you become fatalistic. You become more able to survive than people who haven't dealt with that. But that anxiety, that ghost of an anxiety that's constantly nagging at you, that's constantly bugging you, goes away. So we have something to be happy about. And we're not always happy. I'm not always happy. I get up in the morning and I go out and my car won't start. I say things. When somebody cuts me off on the freeway, But that's not the measure that we're talking about. The measure is that, you know how a hurricane works? It's a huge mass of rotating air. I think it's going this way, actually. And in the center, there's this little area that's completely still. And when you're in that area, there's no problem. Hurricane? What hurricane? It's blue sky, looks beautiful up there. And of course, the hurricane moves in and rips your house up and blows it all over the county. But our lives need to be like that. We need to find this still, calm center to live in, because the world is never going to stop swirling around us. We can't stop it. But if you can find this place, if you can find your true self, if you can experience something of your true self, then you find peace. It doesn't mean the car's going to start. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to get angry. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get angry at the person that runs you off the freeway or tries to. It doesn't mean that you're not going to say things or do things that you would rather not do. It means that down deep inside of that, you know who you are. You know that you always have been, you always will be. You know that the only thing that's going to change about you is your body's going to change around you, your mind's going to change around you. But you yourself have nothing to fear. You have nothing to fear. And then you want to share that with other people. And that's this new covenant. It's called self-realization, not selfish realization. A lot of people mistake self-realization for selfish realization. I want it for myself. Self-realization means to realize that this self, which I am, and that self, which is the self of all creation, are the same. It's just a glass of, I'm a glass of water, and that's the ocean. Eventually the glass is going to break. Where's the water going to go? Well, it's going to go back to the ocean. And hopefully stay there. See, I don't want to come back here. This world is a nice place to visit, but I don't want to live here. I want to go home. I want to go home and be the ocean rather than the drop. How big is the ocean and how big is creation? Well, I can only tell you my experience. In my experience, Parapara, God, whatever name you want to use, is so huge that all of creation, all of the universes, from one side to the other, from top to bottom, from the inside to the outside, are no bigger in that one universal God than a single grain of sand in the Sahara Desert. He's immense. That's immense. I don't know. He, she, it, doesn't matter. It's immense. And creation is so tiny. Now I ask you, do you want to be part of the grain of sand, or do you want to be the desert? Do you want to be the drop of water, or do you want to be the ocean? Give me the ocean every time. And I don't mind visiting here. I just don't want to have to come back. It's kind of like going on vacation. We went to Las Vegas. I had to go see a doctor there. I went to Las Vegas. First time in my life I've ever been to Las Vegas. It was kind of neat. I didn't gamble because I don't have enough money to gamble, but I went to see the lions. They had lion exhibits, and I love lions. So we went to see the lions. Then we went to see the tigers and all that kind of stuff. And it was wonderful. I would not want to go back there every week. I don't want to go back there every week. So being part of this world, being part of creation is kind of like that. It's a nice place to visit. But you don't want to keep coming back here time after time after time after time after time. And so we have this joy. It's not always visible, and sometimes we don't even recognize it ourselves. But it's there. It's purpose. It's mission. It's goodness. And we're not out trying to enslave people to some cult. We're out trying to free people. You know, the communists have this symbol. Boom, they're going to smash capitalism. Boom, they're going to smash you. This is ours. This is our symbol. Not like that. No, that's Star Wars. Like this. Because this represents freedom. Free will, free choice, self-determinism, individual freedom, and absolute inescapable personal responsibility. We're responsible for what we do. We're responsible for what we don't do, but we're free. And so when you approach this point of self-realization, when you begin to realize that, hey, I'm not the drop of water, I am the ocean. I'm just temporarily being a drop of water, or a glass of water. Then you begin to realize that in your spirit you are free. In yourself you are free. In your soul you are free. But then you have an obligation. The obligation is to try to offer that freedom to anyone who will stand still long enough to listen. Not to run up and shove it down their throat, but to say, hey, I got this freedom. You want it? If you want it, take it. See? If you don't want it, walk away. Now, I might make a good case. I might put up an argument. But I'm not going to tell you, you got to take this or you're going to go to hell. No, you're just going to come back here. You're going to go back to Vegas every week of your life. And you're going to have to stay in the same hotel. And you're going to have to eat the same food. And you're going to have to go see the lions. Every time. And eventually, you know, there are young souls and there are old souls. Young souls are the souls that have just kind of are making the rounds. You know, so they go, oh, this is really cool. Yeah, I want to do this. It's like we used to have a place in Long Beach. It was called the Pike. It was an amusement park. It's where all the sailors went. So we'd be down there. And they had a roller coaster called the Cyclone Racer. This thing was awesome. It went straight up and straight down and then around and did loops like this. And I loved it so much I'd get a whole pocket full of quarters and just hand the guy another quarter. Well, for about the first 20 times it was great. And then finally I got to the 20th time and I looked at my quarter and I went, I'm going to do this again. I never rode the thing again.
Wow.
I must have ridden that thing like 30 times or 20 times. And that was it. That was enough. So there are young souls that go, no, I want to come back here. I want to do this all over again. I go, you know, you really want to do the old age thing again. You really want to do the sickness thing again. You really want to do the being decrepit and having somebody push you around in a wheelchair where you drool all over yourself again. You really want to do that again? Oh, that'll never happen to me. Okay, if you say so. My younger friends are kind of like that, you know. Because when you're young, you're indestructible. You get older, you find out you're not really quite that indestructible. But there are people in this world who have been around the wheel enough times, they go, I don't want to ride it again. You know, here, I'm putting my quarter back in my pocket. I want to get off the roller coaster. Well, those are the people that we offer this gift to. We don't push it on people who don't want it, but we offer it to people who want to get off the roller coaster. And some join us and some don't. Some take it and they never do anything with it. Some take it and they go out and they don't fulfill it. That's too bad. But freedom is the rule. Not this. So we're lucky. You wake up in the morning and you look at the sun and you go, I know what my day is all about. I'm going to go to work. I got to make a living. I'm going to have to drive on the freeway and cuss at people, fuss at people. I'm probably going to, get upset about a bunch of stuff at work or something. But down deep, my life counts. It counts for something that goes beyond time, space, and circumstance. It counts because we are engaged in the greatest mission that anybody could ever have, which is to get all souls free. Not just to get my trans free. My Christian friend was like, well, we're just here to get Christians free. So that's really a shame. We're not. We're here to get Christians free, to get Jewish people free, to get Hindus, Buddhists, nudists, everybody else free. Those that like us and those that hate us. It doesn't matter. Think of an apple tree. An apple tree gives apples to whoever comes by it. It doesn't care if you like it or hate it. Right? An apple tree will look at you and go, you're not getting an apple because you don't like it. You don't like apple trees. No, it gives apples to whoever it comes by. And that's the way we have to be. So, I know the burden sometimes takes precedence and you go, oh my gosh, I'm really weighed down by this. I don't like to go out and talk to people about religion. Well then don't talk to people about religion. Talk to people about being my train. Talk to people about God's new covenant. Talk to people about whatever you want to call it. But I know sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it feels like this thing is weighing you down. If you just remember what our goal is, if you just remember what our purpose is, if you just remember why we're doing what we're doing, it's to rescue all people, all souls, all spirits, and get everybody home to God, home into the ocean. And don't worry about it. Well, what happens then? We'll find out. Just hang around. We'll find out. I think it's kind of like game over. But we all win. So, I know this has been a tough year. We have this beautiful building that's been basically given to us. And the chairs are empty. This is a tough time. The materialism of this world is on the rise. The atheism of this world is on the rise. And a lot of the fundamentalist Christians, the fundamentalist Jewish people, the fundamentalist Hindus, the fundamentalist Buddhists, all these fundamentalist people, which is really just another way of saying bigot, all these bigoted people are helping promote this materialism, this atheism. I mean, who wants to... Look, this is my book. This is different than the Bible. It's different than the Bhagavad Gita. It's different than any other holy book on this planet. For one reason. I wrote it. Jesus did not write the Bible. Buddha did not write the Buddhist scriptures. As far as we know, all Buddha ever wrote were a few stanzas of sutra, poetry. Muhammad didn't write the Quran. And we know that Sanjaya wrote the Bhagavad Gita and many of the Upanishads. Krishna didn't. But I wrote this. This is a first-hand eyewitness account. Now, you can say it's a lie, you can say that it's wrong, you can say that it's nonsense, you can say anything you want about it, but at least it's a first-hand account. So I want to tell you something about this book. Something you'll never hear from a fundamentalist Christian. The Word of God is in this book, but it's not the whole thing. It's not the whole thing. Putting the whole so-called Word of God in that book would be like going down to the ocean and taking this little bowl here. We got to do something about that. And putting the whole ocean in this bowl. Do you think you could put the whole ocean in?
No.
The Pacific Ocean, we get the whole Pacific Ocean in this bowl. Well, you can't get the Word of God in a book any more than you can get the whole Pacific Ocean in this bowl. I don't care if it's the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, the Bhagavad Gita, or any of these other books. You can get some of it in there, but you can't get all of it in there. So, when people come up and they tell you, my book is right, I say, well, how do you know that? Well, because I believe it. Well, that's interesting. I believe that rabbits have horns, too, but I've never found one. Oh, well, that's absurd. If someone take it under advice. Just because you believe it doesn't mean that it's true. It's good that you believe it. It's good that you believe in something. But it doesn't mean that it's true. So don't be going out and telling people that the entire Word of God is in this Holy Book of Destiny. It's not. Some of it's in there. What He gave to me, what I experienced is in there. Just the same as the Bible and all the other holy books. But when these people go out and they become bigoted, when they become fascist about their religion, they're not helping God. They're not helping their religion. You know who they're helping? They're helping the Marxists. They're helping the atheists. They're helping the materialists to destroy any hope of people enjoying God. Do you ever think of enjoying God? Wow. Well, I do. I mean, that's the greatest joy there is. You know, when you have a really close friend and you get to spend time with your friend, isn't that a joy? Well, I have to tell you, I like you guys a lot, but he's my best friend. When I get to spend time with him, whether it's in meditation or contemplation or a little bit of prayer or whatever it happens to be, that's really a good day. And so, if you're not enjoying, I see so many people, mostly we have Christians in this country. I don't mean to be banging on the Christians, but that's most of what's around. I see so many Christians that don't enjoy God. They think God's a sledgehammer to beat you into the ground with. You know? Or a boxing glove to punch you in the face with. If you're not enjoying God and God's presence, then readjust yourself, okay? Because the traditional, the most ancient definition of God is reality, consciousness, and bliss. It's not accurate, but it's nice. So, I know it's been a tough year, and this is kind of our first meeting of the new year. When you look around here and you see that these chairs are empty, it kind of breaks your heart. The only reason they're empty is because, it's not because you don't know what to say. It's not because you need to take a course in salesmanship. It's not because you need to figure out how to change people's minds and manipulate people. There's only one reason these chairs are empty, is because you're not enjoying your religion. You're not enjoying God. You're not enjoying meditation. You're not enjoying just being a Maitreyan. You don't have to do anything. Just enjoy it. Find joy in it. Because it's there. And don't worry, when you do that, we'll have to get more chairs. Besides, it's not the numbers of people that count. It's what we're doing here. So this is our cause, this is our mission, this is our purpose. I know it was a rough year last year. We don't know how long this place will last. The guy can come along at any time and go, okay, that's it, you're out, we're tearing it down. So make the most of it, enjoy it. I enjoyed it. Look at what we made of this. It was an empty hall when we first walked in here. And we created something beautiful and something blissful and something even divine out of it. except this is too low. Or I'm too tall. So try to readjust your thinking. Don't look at the losses of last year. Don't look at the problems that we've had. Don't look at all of the difficulties that we've gone through, and they've been many. Look at what you have in your heart. You have God's new covenant in your heart. You have this promise in your heart, and you can give it to any person who will accept it. You don't have to bring them to me personally. If you give it to them, I'll give it to them. And if I give it to them, Parakara will give it to them. And so it can spread all over the world without anybody ever coming up and shaking my hand. And you can spread it. But you have to start with yourself. If you find that goodness and that joy in your own heart, people will come and say, hey, I want some of that. Where'd you get that? Oh, I went to Target, bought it. No. No. Tell them where you got it. And say, this is what it is. And we'd love to have you join us, if you can do it of your own free will. Not like this, not like this, like this. So, reorient your compass. It's a new year. We do have time, sometime, to do our work. And it's a matter of doing it within yourself first. When you find that joy in yourself, you'll find that other people come and they say, I would like some of that, please. If you're out there having to push it on people, I just went over here and I had what's called a Butterfinger latte this morning. It's white chocolate, peanut butter, and something else. And it was so good. It was just outrageous. Probably about 1,500 calories. Nobody had to take me over there and go, get a peanut butter latte. Come on, you gotta have a peanut butter latte. I go, no, don't make me have a peanut butter latte. Nobody had to say anything because it's so good. Forget all of this stuff about trying to make this something other people want, and think of it as a peanut butter latte. You know? And an oatmeal cookie.
I know.
I had one of those too. See? And I enjoyed it tremendously. So when you enjoy your way of life, we don't even need to call it a religion, it's a way of life. When you enjoy your way of life that much that you wake up in the morning and you see the sun shining and go, all right, I got another day to do the work that I've been appointed to do in this world. I'm not going to do it all day. I got to type. I got to do all the other stuff that I got to do. But I got another day to maybe set somebody else free, or at least start them on the road to freedom. Then it'll be like the peanut butter latte. I bet somebody's going to go over and get a peanut butter latte. It's called a Butterfinger latte. If you don't try it, shame on you. If you do try it, shame on me, because you'll blow your whole diet. So this is the way we want to start this year off. And you'll know when you found that place of peace and joy and love inside of yourself, because this place will be full. And until then, you're going to be going, what can I do to bring people in? Well, I just told you. Okay? So thank you for being here. We'll close the meeting and raise this bar. Om Soham Tatvamasi. Jai Bhagavan.
Jai Bhagavan. Jai Bhagavan.
There is one universal God, there is one universal Spirit, one whole and indivisible, there is no other. Due to spiritual ignorance, the people see universal God differently. Because of this, they call him by different names. In truth, universal God is universal Spirit, which is both manifest and unmanifest, both personal and impersonal, both immanent and transcendent, yet neither. Universal God is the one greatest mystery. Mind cannot grasp him, only spirit can know him. Universal God alone is real, there is nothing but universal God everywhere. Universal God is the one source, cause, substance, and self of all creation, all existence, and all being. Creation, existence, and being have no reality or existence apart from universal Spirit. Soul is pure, divine, universal Spirit, which is ignorant of its true nature. In truth, all soul is pure, divine, universal Spirit, which is one and identical with universal God and no other. Spiritual ignorance and wrong believing hide the truth from the people's hearts and minds. The result is birth, division, conflict, pain, fear, suffering, sorrow, and death. Their fruit is endless rounds of births and deaths. Enlightenment and self-realization are the cure, the friends. Holy initiation is true enlightenment. Self-realization is full and absolute knowledge of the truth, born of direct spiritual experience. There is no self-realization without true enlightenment. There is no other salvation or liberation. The truth alone sets all people free. Self-realization is the one universal purpose and goal of all life, all creation, all existence, and all being are for self-realization alone. The purpose and goal of the wave is to return to the sea from which it has come and of which it is a part. The purpose and goal of each soul is to attain self-realization.